वो चला बेटर है बड़ा
ये बच्चे कुछ नहीं करेंगे। थोड़ा बताइए हुआ पति को मार दिया।
Two nations, two nuclear powers, a shared turbulent history, and a military rivalry that refuses to fade away. Sparks flew once again after the brutal Pahalgam terror attack, a grim reminder of how fragile peace truly is. This is the ultimate face-off, India versus Pakistan, military might, strategy and survival. In a nuclear-armed standoff, who really holds the upper hand? Hello and welcome. You're watching Statecraft with me, Geeta Mohan. In the wake of the Pahalgam tragedy, military strength is no longer an abstract debate. It's a cold, pressing reality. We turn to Global Firepower's 2025 index to cut through the noise and lay out the facts. India stands tall, ranked 4th globally with a formidable power index score of 0.1184. Pakistan, although no pushover, trails behind at 12th with 0.2513. Remember, in military rankings, the lower the score, the stronger the force. This growing gap reveals more than just numbers. It reflects shifting power dynamics across the subcontinent. The question is, how long can deterrence hold? Now let's talk numbers. Human numbers. India's 1.4 billion strong population dwarfs Pakistan's 252 million. This demographic difference translates directly into military manpower. India boasts over 662 million available manpower compared to Pakistan's 108 million. When it comes to active duty personnel, India fields approximately 1.45 million soldiers, nearly double Pakistan's 654,000. The gap widens further in reserves and paramilitary forces, where India commands a huge advantage. Quite simply, when it comes to boots on the ground, India has more, many more, across every single category. Money talks, and in the realm of defense, it roars even louder. India's defense budget towers at an imposing $75 billion compared to Pakistan's modest $7.6 billion. When we look at foreign reserves, another crucial element in funding prolonged military operations, the difference is even starker. India holds $627 billion while Pakistan sits at $13.7 billion only. This financial muscle not only supports modernization but also enables India to rapidly upgrade its weaponry, expand its capabilities, and pursue high-end military research and development year after year. In the skies, India soars higher and faster. With 2,229 aircraft compared to Pakistan's 1,399, India fields more fighters, more helicopters, and more transport aircraft across the board. Its fleet diversity, boasting aircraft like the Sukhoi, that is Su-30 MKI, Dassault Rafale, and indigenous Tejas jets, gives it a comprehensive air combat advantage. Pakistan, while highly agile with its JF-17 Thunder program developed in collaboration with China, simply cannot match the sheer scale and technological sophistication of India's aerial might.
Similar thing is happening across also because the advantage which the enemy has now got is that they have stopped all the overflight clearances of our aeroplanes. So with that what happens is that anything coming from the eastern side on their radars is immediately picked up as a hostile aeroplane, which otherwise have gone in as a commercial or any other cargo aircraft or carrier aircraft. So towards that, their air defense would be better prepared because anything coming from this side is target. The deployment is going on, and we have multiple options, like Admiral Sinha just mentioned, that it is the political will to give us the directions to the services, their aim as to what should be the targets that should be taken out first.
On land, It's a contest of steel and firepower. India deploys 4,201 tanks and an astounding 148,000 armoured vehicles compared to Pakistan's 2,627 tanks and roughly 17,500 vehicles. However, Pakistan has strategically emphasized mobile artillery systems perfectly tailored for defensive operations along its contested borders. This focus on mobility rather than sheer brute strength reflects Pakistan's defensive posture and the challenges posed by its geography. And at sea, the disparity is even more glaring. India's naval forces, featuring 2 aircraft carriers, 18 submarines, 13 destroyers, and nearly 300 ships, dwarf Pakistan's coastal navy. India's evolution into a true blue water navy enables it to project power across critical trade routes from the Strait of Hormuz to the Indo-Pacific, whereas Pakistan's navy, although capable, remains largely defensive and restricted to safeguarding its immediate coastline.
I think these are very strong words which have been backed by the naval exercise that is going on. The two things which come to my mind, if I were there, what I would have gleaned out of this. Number one, that given the targets, a precision attack can be made from distances where the Pakistanis cannot reach and attack our ships. So that is number one. Number two is that we are ready. We will not allow any of their ships and submarines to get out of their harbors, or if we want, we can enforce a blockade and maintain it for quite good time, which will stop the the support by means of the oil or by means of any commerce which is coming into Pakistan. That can be stopped and maintained. So that should choke the country economically, and that falls in line with the government's policy of first doing a diplomatic and economic pressure, and thereafter applying the military pressure either from land or from air.
Behind every military machine is the logistical foundation, and here too, India dominates. India's vast infrastructure network, 6 million kilometers of roads, 311 operational airports, and 56 major ports, ensures rapid mobilization and sustained supply chains in times of conflict. Pakistan's comparatively smaller network poses significant challenges during prolonged engagements, making India's logistical depth a potential game changer in any drawn-out military scenario. Natural resources form another critical pillar of military endurance. India's abundant energy base, spanning oil, coal and renewables, supports sustained military campaigns. Pakistan's heavy reliance on imported energy, however, introduces a significant strategic vulnerability, particularly during blockades or protracted conflicts where resource security becomes paramount. Geography, though, remains a powerful equalizer. Pakistan's rugged terrain, particularly along its borders, offers natural defenses that complicate any invading force's plans. Additionally, shorter internal supply lines allow Pakistan to move forces quickly within its territory. However, India's vast territory grants it strategic depth, a luxury Pakistan does not possess, allowing India to absorb initial shocks while regrouping for counter-offensives. Both India and Pakistan are expanding aggressively into cyber warfare. India has created dedicated cyber commands under its military wings and is actively integrating cyber operations into its conventional battle plans. Pakistan too has developed significant cyber capabilities, focusing on both defensive cyber measures and offensive cyber espionage, often aligned with asymmetric strategies. In the future, cyber operations could decisively alter the effectiveness of traditional military power without a shot being fired. Space is now a battlefield too. India, leveraging its globally renowned ISRO, operates a fleet of military satellites like GSAT-7 and RESAT series, that is, radar imaging satellites. India's demonstrated anti-satellite weapon test further solidifies its dominance in this domain. Pakistan, though making strides with satellites like ParkSat-1R launched with Chinese help, still lacks indigenous capabilities, giving India a major strategic edge in space-based surveillance, communication and targeting operations. Ballistic and cruise missiles form the spearhead of deterrence. India's missile arsenal, ranging from long-range Agni-V intercontinental missiles to the highly accurate BrahMos cruise missiles, is matched by Pakistan's Shaheen and Gauri series and its Babur cruise missile program. Both countries maintain triad-based nuclear delivery capabilities via land, air and sea. However, India's missile defense initiatives, such as its developing ballistic missile defense shield, offer it an additional strategic cushion against nuclear or conventional strikes.
This threat of nuclear weapons, it is not new. It is not the first time and not the last time Pakistan is going to give it unless their nukes are taken out. And like you are saying, Rashid Sheikh trying to say that pow ke nuclear bomb. So that is their IQ, as you are very rightly saying. And all these threats are desperate statements. Now they are in a corner and now they know that India holds all the cards. And the world is supporting us. The most important thing is the world is behind us and the world is siding with us. Now they have been isolated and India retains all the options to exercise. Starting from few diplomatic options were listed out the other day, then economic, the political, and of course the military. All these options can be in isolation, they can be in conjunction with each other. And talking specifically about the nuclear threat which Pakistan's ministers are giving, they must understand India's nuclear policy. And they must understand the Pakistan's geographical size vis-a-vis India's size. India is very capable of absorbing the first tactical nuclear strike by Pakistan. But as per our nuclear policy, the retaliatory strike or the second strike is going to cause unacceptable damage on Pakistan. And Pakistan has to understand Pakistan has only 7 to 8 cities as compared to India's numerous cities and our depth. And if those 7 to 8 cities are taken out, and you can imagine, जो बिलावल भुट्टो बोल रहा था कि खून बहेगा, पानी सूख जाएगा तो खून भी सूख जाएगा. And once the nuclear retaliatory strike comes, there will be no खून, there will be no sharir, there will be no hadiyan, no nothing. So they must understand.
Now we come to the most critical and chilling element: nuclear weapons. Both India and Pakistan possess significant nuclear arsenals, though exact numbers remain classified. Expert estimates suggest Pakistan holds between 165 to 175 nuclear warheads, while India maintains around 160 to 170. Pakistan's doctrine emphasizes full-spectrum deterrence, including tactical nuclear weapons, aimed at countering India's conventional superiority. India, meanwhile, upholds a no-first-use policy and maintains a secure second strike capability through its nuclear triad. Ultimately, despite conventional advantages, the grim reality of mutually assured destruction continues to restrain full-scale wars between these rivals. Beyond raw firepower, the difference often lies in training, technology, access, leadership structures, and strategic vision. India's wide access to high-end defense technologies sourced from the United States of America, France, Israel, and Russia significantly outpaces Pakistan's defense ecosystem, which remains heavily reliant only on China. Moreover, India's stronger civil-military balance with clear civilian supremacy over the military offers greater long-term political stability, unlike Pakistan, where the military often exerts disproportionate influence over civilian governments. In raw numbers and overall strength, India holds overwhelming advantages across almost every military metric. But numbers alone don't decide wars. When it comes to two nuclear-armed neighbors with a history of wars, skirmishes, and deadly proxy battles, the real battlefield lies elsewhere, in deterrence, diplomacy, and crisis management. India has always won wars when it comes to Pakistan. But in this high-stakes environment, Pakistan has continuously used terrorism as a tool of proxy warfare. This leaves India with no choice but to respond in kind and in full measure, defending its sovereignty and citizens against these attacks. Not to forget, Pakistan cannot afford a war. Its economy is in a shambles, and the people are increasingly unsupportive of the military's dominance in governance. While India's military strength is overwhelming, Pakistan risks losing not just on the battlefield, but the very support of its own people. The stakes are higher than ever, and in such a volatile scenario, India would emerge victorious, but at a heavy cost to Pakistan, both militarily and in terms of popular support. Thank you for watching Statecraft.